Hello everyone and welcome to another brochure video. This will be a popular video for all of you who like smiley faced vacuum cleaners, because I'm going to be having a look through this Numatic International Cleancare brochure from 2005. So the Cleancare range are the more commercial versions. So Numatic do the home care range with the famous Henry, Hetty, Charles, George, etc. And the Cleancare range is more aimed for commercial use, shops, offices, factories, that sort of thing. So without any further ado, let's open up this rather colourful brochure and take a look at all the models available. The first two pages tell us a little about Numatic International. We've got some pictures here of their factory. I expect the factory has expanded since this brochure was printed. I think they're currently expanding now in 2024. We have an example here of a Henry, and there's a larger machine there. It's possibly a wet and dry, or it could be a soil extraction machine there. We'll be looking at these in more detail through the brochure. We've got a scrubber dryer, a really big one there, and a smaller one. And Numatic International also produce mops and buckets and other cleaning equipment to use in conjunction with their floor cleaners and vacuum cleaners. There's a picture there of a Henry being born, look. Isn't that lovely? Look at that colourful array. Although we only have three colours here in this picture. We have the famous red, we have the quite dull grey, and the blue. And the blue normally symbolised that it was a wet pickup cleaner as well as dry. And you can see here, service with a smile. So this is how, and I've shown you this in a video for one of these cleaners. Actually, a cleaner I've shown you is possibly in this brochure. But back in the day, you got these stickers here, and you had to put the stickers on yourself. The machines came without a face, and it was up to you to stick the eyes and mouth on to your new Numatic machine. Feast your eyes on these lovely Henry red cleaners. Here we have the NRV 222 and the NRV 200T2, and the T is for turbo, the turbo electric head. As you can see, there's a little picture cut out there showing the brushes and the motor. And we've got all the toolkits supplied. That's a standard toolkit there, and that's the turbo electric toolkit. And you'll see I've got some turbo electric machines on my channel. I've got a Numatic playlist. If you haven't seen any of those, you can watch probably over 70 different videos on Numatic cleaners currently on my channel. On this page we can see the NVR 370-22 and the NVR 380-22, so they look very similar apart from the size. So obviously the 380 bit bigger. We've got this different kind of switch here, just a push button switch, but also the high-low switch. A lot of people would like to see two-speed motors brought back to the range, but currently, certainly the domestic cleaners, we just have the single-speed motor, don't we? And then down there, there's a standard toolkit. And at the bottom here, we've got the specifications. It's a 1200 watt machine, 45 litres per second airflow, and the capacities there, and the cleaning range, and the weights and dimensions. From all those red machines, we've gone a bit grey, haven't we? But the cleaners still have a smiley face. So these don't have the cord rewind system, as you can see here. This is like the equivalent of a James, and I believe the domestic James now is blue, isn't he? Used to be yellow. And again, you could get this possibly even now in the Nuvac branding. But these will be available, very similar machines to this will be available now, but they will have lower wattage motors because obviously this is pre-EU regulations. This is a picture here showing the carry handle. There's a top mounted on-off switch, a little bit of space for a duster and some tools. The cord just stores in there at the top when not in use, and you can change the cord easily. I've got a metal base plate here on the floor head, and a slightly more basic toolkit. No upholstery nozzle, just the dusting tool and crevice nozzle supplied. Of course the carpet and floor nozzle and the aluminium ones on the NVP 182. And here we have the NVP 202 and the NVP 372. So again, they've got the same tools, they're just slightly larger capacity, so we'll take a larger bag. And they have 10-meter mains cables. Back to the red cleaners and some very interesting looking machines here. We've got the NVQ222 and the NVQ37022. So again, I think these machines are basically the same but slightly larger capacity for the 370 version. I like this switch assembly here at the front of the handle. Again, we've got high-low switch, little cross section of the motor. Looks like it's an all metal bodied motor there, and then the metal base plate of the cleaner head. Standard tools, pretty much the same sort of toolkit as you get nowadays. Obviously they've changed the main carpet and floor nozzle. These are metal head cleaners. These are the Q series. Metal head but plastic bodied on these, but still with a smiley face. And then this one, I've actually shown you this machine, I think. I was very lucky to find one of these not that long ago, the Numatic Turbo. So I don't know if it's exactly this model, I think it is. And again, I had to stick the face on. I did that in the video because he did come out of the box without his eyes and mouth. He looked very sad, but I rectified that in the video. So again, we have a metal top, but we have plastic base, and we have the turbo electric head there. And you can see down here we've got him with and without the face. And then we go on, couple more cleaners here. This is the NVQ 38022. Now this has a slightly different base and it's made of a different material, and it probably does, oh, it's structure foam, that's it. So I think it's even more rugged than the standard plastic. Again, we've got 2-speed motors. Again, metal top and the structure foam base. And then we've got a micro filter. So yes, we've got this HEPA style filter here. I've shown you that recently. It's not quite the same, but on the Henry Allergy and also the Henry Cleancare, the domestic versions, they have a more domestic type of HEPA, as well as, of course, the motor filter that fits over the bag. So this will filter out the exhaust air from the machine. Quite boring grey, quite interesting. This is the MFQ 37022 with the twin flow motor. Again, pretty standard toolkit there. You can still buy this particular machine more or less the same as this. The floor head will be different, and I'm not sure if it's 2-speed motor. This is all steel, so not only the top is metal, the base is metal as well. I quite fancy getting one of those. It's also got the blowing port. I do have a Wendy, the green Wendy. She doesn't have a face. I'm not sure if you should have a face, but yeah, I have shown you a Wendy, which is this sort of form factor. Wendy's all metal as well. This is the NQS 250B22. And then on this page, basically the same, I would say, but bigger drum, so it will take a bigger bag. And you can see this one's on a trolley, so that's probably best for larger areas of carpet and hard floor to clean. Again, we've got the blowing outlet there. Same toolkits though across the range here. We're getting a bit bigger now, certainly for more commercial and industrial environments such as factory floors, etc. NVQ 570, NVDQ 570. I wonder what the D stands for. Both the top and the bottom is in the structure foam, so very rugged machines. And on this page with the option of a twin motored version, as you can see here, you could buy it in a single or twin motor. Again, this is on structure foam, much larger capacity. We've got some big wheels on the back. I think they're both on trolleys as well, with handles to help move them about. So these are hefty cleaners. You can see there. I've got one of these, well, not this one, but I do have a pneumatic cleaner on a trolley with these big wheels. I've had it a long time. you'll see back on my channel if you want to look at that video. So yeah, we're starting to get big, but I think we're going to get bigger before this video ends. Okay, let's turn the page. Oh, some more interesting cleaners, but no smiley face, because, well, if you're using one of these machines, you wouldn't see the smiley face if they had one on. Somebody watching you from behind would see, but you wouldn't. These are backpack vacuum cleaners, again in a rather dull grey. I have seen these in other colours. I've seen blue, red, I think I've even seen a yellow version. I do have one of these. I have the smaller version. I don't know if this is exact one. It's probably a later version with a lower wattage motor. I did open one of those on one of my Christmas unboxing videos and briefly showed it in action, but I haven't had it out since, and it was several years ago. So I must get that out and show you that at some point. So there's two versions in this particular one here, larger and smaller. I've definitely got the smaller one, so the capacity slightly bigger on this model, the 200 version. Yeah, I have the 130 version here. Don't think there's a power takeoff. No, it's a blanking piece. I was hoping, now this is the one I've always wanted. We'll look at that in a minute. But I was hoping for mine I could have converted it to take a power head, but I would need to fit a socket there and get the power hose, and I haven't been able to find one. So it would have been fantastic to have this with the power head. So this just straight suction, both of them. As you can see, it's the basic carpet and floor nozzle with the metal base plate. Here's the tools. We get, well, it's odd, isn't it? You just get the adapter piece and a dusting brush. There's no other tools available. Well, obviously you could buy tools, but supplied, by the looks of it, just the dusting brush and the adapter, so you can attach the dusting brush directly to the end of the hose. But obviously this is a 32mm toolkit, so you can fit any standard 32mm attachment. You could put a turbo nozzle on if you wanted to. Here's the model I would have liked, the RSV 130T, T for turbo obviously, so it's basically the same machine as the non-turbo version, but with a power hose and the electric nozzles, the tubes. But that would have been fantastic to have that on your back, and you've got the almost silent turbo electric head that you can whiz over your carpets with. And you can see here the more comprehensive toolkit supplied with the turbo version. Obviously the turbo head, the standard carpet and floor head. You get the upholstery nozzle with a slide-on brush, crevice tool, dusting brush, and the little adapter piece as well, because you needed the adapter to attach the non-powered tools to the power hose. And we've got two full-length powered wands there. So here we have the W, and I assume W stands for wet, WV372 and the 382. So obviously one's a bit bigger than the other, the 380, slightly larger capacity, and that's got the structure foam base. And this one looks very like a Charles, domestic Charles really, more or less the same I suspect. So just take away Numatic and put Charles, and probably that was the same as the Charles you could get domestically, although Charles, the domestic Charles, would have come with more accessories, more tools than this one. Here we can see the toolkit supplied with these two machines. So just have the hose, the wands, the curved handle, and a dry pickup head and a wet pickup head. And again, those look like they're just for hard floors. That nozzle there with the brushes, that's for hard floors, dry use, and then you've got the squeegee head there. But of course, if you wanted to add a different nozzle, you could do. Here we have a very big cleaner with a 27 litre dry capacity and a 20 litre wet pickup capacity. But apart from the traditional blue, it was also available in transparent, so you could see everything being sucked up, so you'd know when it was time to empty it of water. Of course, it's got the float valve anyway, which would cut the suction off. We've got the single speed switch on the back, and we've got the trolley situation here with a folding handle and two large wheels. And again, it's the same toolkit as supplied with the other models, just a wet head and a dry head, hose and wands. And you can see here a picture of the wet head with the squeegee inserts front and back. More wet cleaners on these two pages, including the WV572 and the WVD572. I assume D is for the twin motor. It might stand for dual, because again this version was available with a single or double motor, and it's Structofoam completely, bottom and top. Again, this is for much more rugged industrial environments, so as we go up we're getting bigger cleaners with bigger capacities, options of twin motors for the more demanding tasks. And then we've got an even bigger version here, the WV902, and again the twin motored version. And you can see that this big beast has a special tipping mechanism which enables you to tip out the water down a drain a little bit easier. It's got a handle, metal handle at the front, so I assume you just take the top off and position it like this and then pull it up and all the wastewater will flow out. And again we've got a similar toolkit to the previous versions, although the wet and dry pickup nozzles are a little bit different to the previous versions I've shown you on the last two pages. They seem to be a little bit bigger and beefier. Here we have a very shiny stainless steel bodied Numatic with the Structofoam top, and it's on this trolley that can be tipped up, and Numatic are saying this is for a number of traditional applications within the medical, healthcare, food and pharmaceutical industries. So for some reason they require a stainless steel tub. Very smart. I'm sure you can get very similar models currently in 2024 when I'm filming this video. But again, it's just got the standard tools here. No small tools supplied as standard with these machines. WVD 1800 DH2 trips off the tongue. Wow, that is absolutely humongous. That has a 70 litre wet capacity. Nothing about dry. You'd think it'd be dry. No, actually no. I think this is for wet use only because we only have a wet cleaner head there. I've got a pipe here. I assume that's for easy emptying, because when this is full I expect it to be quite hard to tip up, but you've got this little see-through hose situated on the back, so you can just uncouple that and take the bung off the end and empty out the dirt that way. It's got a 2400 watt motor. Very big motors in this one. Well, very powerful. 31.3 kilograms in weight, so that's not for your domestic house. That is definitely for commercial environments. I bet that's huge. We're going even bigger here with the WVD 1800 PH2. Now this one has powered emptying. It's a pump. Now that's not a pump for shampooing, that's a pump for emptying the large capacity tank. Now how 70 litres. So when this is full you can actually pump it out. So that's why there are two buttons on here. There's a pump button. So obviously you disconnect this see-through tube. It's got a washing machine debris on it. You know, that piece that you have on the washing machine drain hose. So that makes it easier. You could hook that over a drain or a sink, press the pump and it would empty out, because that will be very heavy obviously when it's full of water. And this one again, well, this one goes a step further than this model. So with this 70 litre wet capacity machine, you can be sucking up water and then pumping it out through this hose, so you can pump it directly into a drain. So that'd be useful in a flood situation. So you can constantly clean. You don't have to wait for it to fill up and then empty it. It's going to be flowing through the machine, sucking it up the tubes through the hose and then out the back of the cleaner through this clear hose here. So I don't know if they still do this sort of machine. Obviously I don't think I'd find a use for this in my home, but yes, if your property's flooded and you're trying to clear up, then ideal for pumping it out. Or instead of using a pump, most people would use a pump for a big flood I suppose, but You could certainly suck a lot of water through this without fear it's going to get too full. It just continually flows through. Again, this is sold as a wet pickup cleaner only. Well, again, these are very industrial looking machines. Again, these are very industrial looking machines. Again, two very industrial looking machines. 70 litres, both 70 litre capacity, both 2,400 watt motor. What can you say about them? There's no smiley face. They look quite menacing. But these are machines, obviously, not for home use. Far too bulky. This is 26.2 kilograms and this is 26.8 kilograms in weight. But yes, it's actually got a measure on there. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually embossed with some showing you the capacities of this cleaner. This seems to be wet and dry because we've got two heads. This one's only got one head. This is the Polyform 2000 in its 20th year. Well, it was in its 20th year. Made of Structofoam, of course. A 2-motor Structofoam. And then what's the difference? They look very similar, don't they? Oh, this one also has the pump. This has got the pump for emptying out the container. I assume it's not continuous though with this one. You do have to wait for it to get full, I assume. Accessories supplied are the full 38mm standard width long hose, stainless steel tube, Structofoam nozzle, and a standard 10-meter discharge hose to get all that. So that's a long hose, 10-meter hose. So yes, you could, you know, have a drain outside. You could be using this inside with an outside drain, as long as it's not much further than 10 meters away. Obviously you've got the length of the hose as well that you can add to that. And they have the twin flow motor. We have the Smile back. This looks quite like a George but in blue, although this one, the CT372, just seems to be for wet use only because it's just a wet toolkit supplied. So it's actually, this is more like a Henry Wash, the commercial version. In fact, it's very, very similar. Although I do prefer this hose. You can see it's incorporating the solution tube as well, but it's actually inside. On the current Henry Wash and George, it's on the outside of the hose. It's sort of moulded in, but it's not as neat as this. That's much neater design. They don't have that anymore. So this is just for your shampooing of carpets, and you've got the option possibly. Oh no, it does come with it. Yes, you've got the small, very good for car valeting. Basically very similar to what you can buy now, isn't it? And here we have the CT472. Again, no dry tools supplied, just a bigger capacity. This is a 1200 watt, both 1200 watt motor, and the capacity dry, it does give you a dry capacity actually, but again, no dry tools. 15 litre dry, 9 litre wet, and 6 litre. I assume that's well, I wonder what that's for. That's, oh yes, of course it's 6 litre for the solution tank. And this one is 27 litre dry, 20 litre wet, and 11 litre for the shampoo tank there. So yes, for large areas, still incorporates the built-in solution tube built into the hose there. Well, there's still more to go. Can you believe they produce so many different machines? And this is just for the Cleancare range. Obviously there's Home Care, Cleancare, and there's other ranges as well. Other floor cleaners and scrubber dryers. They do make an extensive range of machines. Even now, I mean, there's so many different machines you can buy from Numatic. It's not just the smiley face machines we know that we use around the home. This one again is a Structofoam machine. You can see it's got an all metal fishtail nozzle instead of the clear plastic version. 1200 watt motor, or it's actually, it says 1200 or 2400. So again, I assume this was available, or is available, well, this particular one was available with 2 motors, 23 litre dry, 15 litre wet, 10 litre Ext, which I assume again is the solution tank, but no dry tools provided. Then we have the CT902 and the CTD902. So again, I think the D is for the dual motor, 2 motor version. Yes, 1200 or 2400 watts. So it's 2 motors, and it's got the trolley, so it's a bigger capacity. 40 litre dry, 32 litre wet, 17 litre Ext. So assuming, again, that's for the solution. So that's for cleaning large areas, obviously, of carpeting, but still quite hard work compared to a machine with a rotary brush. Look at the size of this cleaning head. We can see a picture of the underside of it. So it's got 2 spray jets and some wheels. So probably a lot easier to use for larger areas, but it's just straight suction with the spray, no sort of brush or agitation on this model. This is the Cleancare Twin Pack 932, and then again on this page as well, very similar. We've got a dry kit available separately to go with the wet kit. You still get the small sort of upholstery and stair wet cleaner nozzle. These are the TPD 930 system, 30 litre capacity, 2400 watt motor. This is quite a comprehensive brochure, isn't it? We're on page 36 and 37 now. Back to the grey. Here we are. This is again twin motored. It seems to be a steel container, painted steel with the Structofoam head, and this is 2400 watt power, 35 litre capacity. So again, it's, well, no, it's dry use only, so this is not a wet cleaner. We're back to dry only. So this does come, it'll be a larger, a wider diameter tubes and hose. I assume it's 38mm. Yes, it's a full 38mm specification, so that also includes a 38mm dusting brush there, as well as a standard head that looks like it's more suitable for hard floors than carpet. 2 filters there as well, and it's supplied with this big trolley. But yes, that's dry use only. And on the next page we've got the NDT 750C2 and the NDT 750M2. Assume M is for microfilter. Yes, so got the standard. It says it's cyclonic. Does that mean it's bagless? 2400 watt motors on both of these. So yeah, assume then, folks, that this is possibly a bagless version, because it's got this separate cyclonic tank thing here. So yes, this is for use in areas like the pharmaceutical industry, where the dust being collected could constitute a health hazard. So that's why you have this. To allow for these applications, we have, by the simple addition of our HEPA filtration module, provide up to 99.997% filter efficiency, but without detracting from the convenience and ease of use of this machine size. Well, it's hard to tell. I just assume possibly that this, because it says cyclonic, is a bagless pneumatic. Oh no, hang on, it's an additional doodah. To upgrade operational performance in fine dust environments, an additional cyclonic separation kit can be supplied or retrofitted to improve the function of the machine in these specialized circumstances. Yeah, 35 litre capacity on those machines. I certainly wouldn't have that in my home. Looks a little bit large for my purposes. Here we have a couple of stainless steel bodied machines, the NTD 2003/2 and the NTT 2003/2. Look quite similar. Spot the difference? Oh, we can already see the difference. This has got the Structofoam head, and that looks like it's a metal head on that one. It's got twin filters here as well. These are twin motored, well, this one is 2400 watt twin motored machine. 38mm tools again with the dusting brush. No crevice or gulper nozzle supplied with that. And then this one, this is 3600 watts. As much power and performance as you can fit into a single vacuum cleaner while still maintaining practical size and proportions. The triplex powerhead, triplets, three motors then, I'm assuming. 3 motored vacuum cleaner there. Blimey, the airflow is 110 litres a second compared to the airflow on this, which is 80 litres per second. And obviously you'll be able to pause this hopefully and look at these in more detail at your leisure. But yes, these are all a bit alien to me. You know, I'm used to vacuum cleaners for home, but you know, don't have any experience of these sort of machines. And then, well, I've got yellow cleaners now with yellow Numatic branding. Metal heads on all of these. Metal, well, that's a metal bodied. I think these are the hazardous dust ones. Got a special seal on them, haven't they? So they are bagged dry use machines. So these Numatic international range of HZ vacuum cleaners has been specifically designed to meet stringent requirements of industries where it is necessary to vacuum dust that could constitute a health hazard. So I don't know if they can be used for asbestos dust, possibly. But yes, you wouldn't really want one of those in your home. You wouldn't need one. Most people, a HEPA filter should be fine in a domestic vacuum cleaner. So these are basically, we've got the HEPA filters here. Twin motor on this machine. These are 1200 watts and this is, well, 1200 or 2400. So the twin motor is the option you can have with this. So yeah, 35 litre capacity, and on these 9 and 10 litre capacities. Yeah, I don't think I fancy one of these really. I'd find limited use in my home. Is that it? Oh no, well, it is it. We've got space here if you want to write any notes. You know, you can write them here. Write a letter to your loved one and rip it out. And then finally on the back, at long last, he says, we've got some addresses for Numatic United Kingdom, France, Germany, South Africa and the Netherlands. And then we do have a date, yes, Numatic International Limited 2005. Well, that was a longer video than I was anticipating, but it is a big thick brochure. I hope you've enjoyed having a look through this Numatic brochure with me. Quite a lot of models in here I'm sure a lot of you haven't seen. But interesting nonetheless. That's out of the whole brochure, I would say this is my favourite, and as I said, I'm glad I've got one of these. And I'll probably show it again at some point. In the video I made when I unboxed this particular Numatic Turbo, I had a little Hetty next to it to show the size difference, and yes, he's a lot bigger than Hetty, but of course much smaller than the big beasts we saw towards the end of the brochure. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, please thumb up the video, and you can subscribe for more, because there will be more brochures to look through on my channel. I'll put a brochure playlist if you want to while away some idle hours looking at these brochures alongside myself. So until the next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.